Hi everyone, this is Tana here at Jupiter's Garden in central Pennsylvania, and I have to up-pot my tomato seedlings, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to tell everyone what tomato varieties I'm growing in my garden this year. Alright, so I have my tomato seedlings. I think they're probably about a week old, and the plants are tiny, but the roots are ready to get into bigger pots. So I have all my pots ready to go, filled with soil mix. I think these are 3.5-inch pots. And before I get started, I have to show you this petunia. My first year starting for petunias from seeds. I forget what variety these are, but look at that beauty. It just opened up a few days ago. Really pretty. Okay, let's get started on the tomatoes. So I think we'll start with the regular sized tomatoes and then move on to cherry tomatoes and dwarf tomatoes. So the first tomato I have here is Early Girl. Early Girl is a classic determinate variety tomato. Determinate meaning it doesn't continue to grow and grow and grow throughout the season. It sort of has a limited growth habit. It reaches a certain height, produces all its fruits in the same general time frame, whereas the indeterminate tomatoes, which most of the ones you see around are indeterminate, they will continue to grow taller and taller as long as the season and their health allows. But determinates are nice, they're more compact, and I just really like this particular variety. It does really well, really beautiful uniform fruits, classic mid-size red tomato. And I sowed 2 tomatoes in each cell. And these, would I want both of these seedlings, they would be really easy to separate. I'll show you actually. So there's the 2 tomato seedlings, and tomatoes are real easy to separate. But I really only need one. Now that I've done this, I don't want to throw this one away. I'll put it there. But I usually sow 2 tomatoes or 2 seeds in each cell, especially if they're older seeds, just to make sure I get germination on one of them. And once you get into the flow with this, it is a real quick and easy task. And tomatoes you can plant a little deeper. They tend to have long floppy stems. So you can plant them a little deeper. All right, the next one is another determinate variety. It's from Johnny's. It's called BHN 589 F1. Not a very catchy name, but a really great disease-resistant classic red determinate tomato. The BHN 589 F1 it's a hybrid. So hybrids tend to have better disease resistance, more reliably even fruits, less cracking, less cat facing, which is where the more than one fruit is fused together. Okay, what do we have next? Oh, this one's called Dad's Sunset. I bought this variety purely because it tugged at my heartstrings. How could I not have a tomato called Dad's Sunset? So I'm doing this outside today instead of in my grow room because it's beautiful out. It's warm, it's overcast, so it's not too sunny to be out here with the camera. And I'd much rather be outside than in the basement. Dad's Sunset is an heirloom variety. Most of the ones I'm growing are, I think. So heirloom tomatoes are beautiful and delicious, and the range of colors and just the range of different varieties of heirlooms is really great. Here's what the Dad's Sunset looks like. Beautiful golden orange. Next up is, and I want to pronounce this correctly, Black Sea Man. So I grew this last year. I didn't have really great luck with it, but I didn't have great luck with my tomatoes in general. So I'm going to give this another try. It's supposed to be very delicious. It's similar to, in color to it, in flavor, to a Cherokee purple. So it's that dark red, purplish black. Black Sea Man. Okay, next is a variety from Brad Gates Wild Boar Farms company. Brad Gates is a tomato breeder. He comes up with all different kinds of specialty tomatoes. And this one is called Solar Flare. Here's a little packet from Wild Boar Farms. And Solar Flare, if I remember correctly, is the red and orange street tomato. I have quite a few of the Wild Boar Farms varieties. They do really well. I think good quality seeds, really fun varieties to grow. They're the source of a very popular variety called Pink Berkeley Tie-Dye. I haven't grown that one before, but I hear it's quite popular. It's one of his most popular varieties, probably. Solar Flare. I always feel a little guilty when I thin out seedlings and have baby plants that I'm going to put in the compost pile. But I always start extra just to make sure that I get as many as I want. And I have given in to the temptation of separating them, planting them all, and then I'm drowning in tomato plants that I have to take care of, and I'm not doing that this year. I vowed to restrain myself. It's still hard though. Do I have all the Solar Flare? Solar Flare? Yep, okay. The next one is one of my favorites. It's called Thorburns Terracotta. The flavor is exceptional. The color's really unusual. It is a deep it's a terracotta color. It's a deep brownish reddish orange. The one drawback might be that it has a thicker skin. It also has really ununiform fruit sizes, so you can have little ones, bigger ones, but the flavor is so good. So definitely growing that one. Tucking in the babies. Tomatoes can handle having some root disturbance. That's why they're easy to separate. So the ones that I don't want, I'm just carefully pulling out. I wouldn't do that with thinning anything. Some plants well, a lot of plants don't like to have their roots disturbed, and if these were bigger, I'd be wary of it also. So it's really best to clip out, when you're thinning, to clip out the seedlings you don't want at the base, so you don't disturb the roots of the one you're keeping when you're pulling one out. Terracotta. Okay. Oops. One tray done. Oh, the other thing I should show you is, oh, look how pretty. I went to the garden center today and I couldn't resist buying this. It's a Nemesia plant with beautiful raspberry and lemon and orange colors, flavors. And then this osteospermum with just a really beautiful sort of violet and peachy pink color. I'm sure I'll have to bring that in one of these nights to protect it, but I always give in to buying a few early plants at the nursery in the early spring because I can't help myself. All right, next one. Okay, so the previous one was Thorburns Terracotta. This one is Thorburns Lemon Blush. I grew this last year, loved it. It's beautiful, it's delicious. I'm growing it again. This one I am going to pinch out because it is growing right smack next to the one I want to keep. Okay, next up is pineapple. Pineapple is just a reliably fantastic variety. Great producer. I've always had luck with pineapple. Really big fruits, delicious, gorgeous, healthy plants. I've had good luck with this variety no matter where I've gotten the seeds. Pineapple is usually, I see it regularly at garden centers too. So I think it's become a really popular variety. It's similar to Big Rainbow. There's a variety called Big Rainbow. I really can't tell the difference between the pineapple and the Big Rainbow. I have seeds for both, but only growing pineapple. Okay, next is Black Beauty. I don't have the packet for this, so I must have used the last seeds. Black Beauty, it's delicious. I love this variety for eating. It's delicious and gorgeous. It is the darkest tomato I have seen, especially if it gets a lot of sun exposure, on the fruits. It has the anthocyanins in it that makes it turn a really dark purplish black color. They're smaller fruits, but the ones that I've grown have been inconsistent in size and also prone to blossom end rot. So I don't always get a lot of fruit off of these plants, and they're not really, they haven't been really reliable for me. But I love the tomato so much. It is so good. Like, it is just so good. This good meaning tasty. I didn't grow it last year, but I'm growing it this year. Okay, now we have Boxcar Willie. I knew I grew this one last year, but I think it was one of the plants that just failed entirely. I want to try it again. It says 10 to 16 ounce red skinned fruits, perfect for slicing, rich flavor with subtle tones of acidity. Sounds like a pretty general tomato so far. Plants have good disease resistance and fruits are resistant to cracking. I don't know why I didn't have good luck with it last year. Try it again. Boxcar Willie. Next we have Kellogg's Breakfast. This is an orange beefsteak, like a yellow orange beefsteak. Similar to Dr. White's. Dr. White's is one of the nicest varieties that I've grown. This is supposed to be very similar. So this year I thought I'd try Kellogg's Breakfast instead of Dr. White's, and then I can compare them. I really like the yellow orange beefsteak tomatoes. They have a really mild flavor. They're pretty. But if I had to grow just one tomato, it would probably be an orange beefsteak variety, and it would probably be Dr. White's. Next is Gin Fizz. The seeds for this were really expensive. I normally wouldn't buy seeds that cost $1 per seed. Like a package of 15 seeds is just over $15. That's a lot of money for tomato seeds. So Gin Fizz, it was described as having heirloom character. So heirloom type fruits, beautiful, sweet, great flavor, but with disease resistance and less shoulder cracking. A lot of heirloom varieties will get those cracks in the shoulders of the fruit. So this says less of that, more disease resistance, but still heirloom character fruits. It's also an early ripener. This one says it's 72 days, which is, some of the heirlooms can be like 90 to 100 days. So early ripener. Yeah. I did grow this 2 years ago. It did okay. I'm gonna put it in I didn't have it in the best area 2 years ago. I think it didn't get enough sun, so I'm gonna put it in a sunnier area and see how I do with it. All right, so that's it for my large tomatoes. Now, I'm gonna move on to the cherry tomatoes and start with, what am I starting with? Evil Olive. It's a green tomato with red flesh on the inside. It's a larger cherry tomato. It's probably not even classified as a cherry tomato. It's more of like that cocktail tomato, the cocktail size, like golf ball size, maybe a little smaller. But this one is a lot of fun. I did grow it 2 years ago and I really liked it. It is sort of crunchy, but in a good way, like a nice, firm, crispy tomato with good flavor. It's the coloring's really fun. It's fun to slice them in half, like in the photo here. And I really like this one. I didn't grow it last year, just I'm always have too many varieties and not enough space, but I want to grow it again this year because I know I'll enjoy it. Next for cherries is dark orange muscat. Have not grown this one before. It seems like it's going to have the same color as that Thorburns terracotta, which I love, so that was one of the selling points for me. I was just waving to my neighbor. The other draw for me buying these seeds is that I work at a winery and we sell an orange muscat. So, okay, next for the cherries, black strawberry. I've grown this a few times. It's really nothing to write home about as far as flavor or production, but the fruits, and this picture doesn't do it justice. I'll put another picture up here of one I grew in my garden. The fruits are so beautiful. They're just, it's like they were individually hand painted and with purple and pink and green and such pretty fruits. So, worth it for that. And the last of my cherries, blush tiger. I love this one. Oval shaped cherry tomato, yellow with pink stripes. Very, very pretty. And in the past, when I've grown the blush tiger, the seedlings just, they look terrible. They just don't get as robust and like I thought there was something wrong with them both times I grew them. But I mean they matured and got fruits and everything, just they were so sickly looking as seedlings. And I went on a farm tour last June to this farm in Kentucky. And the man, it's the farm from the No-Till Farmers YouTube show, Farmer Jesse. Anyway, he was saying that one of his favorite tomatoes to grow was this blush tiger, and he said the same thing that I had noticed with mine, that the seedlings were just didn't look like they were going to do much, but they always pulled through. So I guess that's just how that one is. I got 4 seedlings in one cell here. I don't know how that happened. Okay, that's it for the cherries. Now this last group of tomatoes, varieties that I'm growing, are a totally new thing for me. There is a new, well, fairly new classification of tomatoes called dwarf tomatoes, and these are regular sized tomatoes but on small compact plants. So like they say the plants get anywhere from 2.5 to 4 feet tall. 2.5 feet is a very small tomato plant, but they get regular sized fruits. Well, there's all different types you can get. There's probably cherry dwarf tomatoes, but these are actually for regular sized tomatoes on compact plants. And I picked 3 varieties. The first one here is called Brandy Fred Dwarf. So I'm thinking maybe it was a cross with a brandywine tomato. I don't know, but it's a regular size red tomato. It's 75-day tomato, so an earlier variety. Brandy Fred Dwarf. There's a whole story behind these dwarf tomatoes, how they came to be about and who worked on them. You can read about it on the internet. So that's one of the fun things that I'm looking forward to in this year's garden, is trying out these dwarf tomatoes. Supposedly they're really a good choice for containers. If you're going to grow tomatoes in containers, the dwarf varieties are a good way to go. Oh, this one's falling apart. The sun's coming out a little bit. The next dwarf variety is called Dwarf Russian Swirl, and it's a yellow and red streaked tomato. And the last one, another dwarf Emerald Green Giant. So a totally green tomato. Someone somewhere, I heard, say that this is a delicious variety. And I thought for the dwarfs it would be fun to have 3 different colors. So I have the red one, the yellow with red stripes, and a green one. And this is a regular size green tomato. These are, out of all my seedlings, these are the tiniest ones, so the slowest to germinate. Look at the little, if they were all this size I would be waiting, but the rest of the tray was ready to up pot, so up potting these little ones. I'll have to be careful with the watering, having these tiny plants in these bigger pots. I'm just gonna dump these right down there in my garden bed. Okay. So that task is done. Before I end the video, I want to share something with you. It's bad news. But you know, big picture, it's not very significant. Every year we have a problem with groundhogs. They are the most destructive thing to the garden that I have experienced. And so we tried to handle the situation early on, catch them as soon as the weather warms up and they come out from wherever they've been hibernating. And they love to eat brassicas. It's their favorite thing ever, as far as I can tell. Broccoli, cabbage, all that stuff, they gobble it and they will decimate quick. So let me show you something very sad. So that tragedy down there is my broccoli bed. You'll notice that there's no broccoli in it. None. But we did remove one groundhog, and the trap is set to try to get the other one out of here. Luckily, they didn't find the cabbage. So at least there's that. I look forward to tomatoes probably more than anything else in my garden. So thank you for joining me to talk about tomato varieties. Bye. Majorly root bound. I should have checked it out while I was at the nursery.